Hello, I'm doing, and let's talk about the messed up yet interesting story of the Emergence hentai. Now, why I want to do this kind of video is just because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this is like the most fucked up story hentai ever. While that is true, I just want to shed some light on the story it actually tells, which is actually pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm not going to go into complete detail because I don't want any guideline strikes on here. That wouldn't be good. Anyway, what Emergence is basically with when I read it, it looks more like a story about the downward spiral into prostitution. That is what my viewpoint of how I see it as. And I feel like the story could possibly have happened to someone. Probably not to the extreme that it tells, but in a way, something like this may have happened to someone, and that's kind of why I want to talk about the story of it as best as I can. So let's go ahead and get started with let's get started with talking about it. What I'm talking about is not the complete transformation. I'm talking more about what led up to that transformation, because there's stuff that happens after that. Okay, yeah, let's just get started with this. Let's start with the very beginning with Saki-chan, our MC, who meets a guy, I don't know if I can say his name right, Hayato, on her way home from school after she ditched her glasses and started wearing makeup to try to fit in with her, like, prestigious school, because the picture that you see and all the memes of it, that's literally like only the first two or three pages of the entire thing. The rest, she never wears any glasses. She starts wearing more makeup and all that kind of stuff. But back to this. She meets Hayato on her way home. This is like maybe like halfway through this first chapter. I don't know if we'll ever call it a chapter or not. But he gives her, with what I think it looks like ecstasy. The drug ecstasy, obviously. And then of course after that they do it. And he also puts his number in her phone while she's calming down. And this is like the initial start. Obviously it's the start. It's the first time it happens to her as well. And it ends up she ends up going back to him multiple times to do it while on that same drug. And thus is what I think is what kind of semi starts that drug addiction. A drug addiction for her. And next thing that happens is when Saki wants to get an I can't fucking speak. Gets an expensive bag to fit in with her friends. I do that quotation marks, obviously, because I don't believe them to be her friends. But it's because it's like a prestigious school, obviously. So all the people there are most of the time rich. So because it's an expensive bag, she finds out about a job from one of those said friends about talking to, how do I put this lightly, older gentlemen, and there's like maybe some cuddling, maybe like a dinner date or something, but that's like the extent of what it's supposed to be. But of course, this is hentai, so obviously it's gonna go farther than that. It slowly goes a bit, like goes too far, even farther, because he keeps offering her cash, which is what she is doing that job for, obviously, to get that bag to fit in with her friends. What she says in it is that she really doesn't like it, like when she's with Hayato, but she acts like she does, obviously. But quick side note that all this part that I'm talking about right now is like the foreplay, obviously, and she acts like like it's with Hayato to get through it, but it does get a lot more heavier. And this is where her, in my opinion, her true sex addiction starts with the story. Is with that one because it's with someone that she doesn't know, but she ends up start liking it more and more and more. So that's where I feel like that addiction starts for her. That type of addiction it starts for her. And afterwards, after that, there's a lot to go through here. After that, some guys start to blackmail her with pictures of her and that older guy, I think maybe leaving that hotel that they were in. And you can guess what kind of thing they wanted. This ends up separating her from her friend, her quote unquote friends, with these guys that she's always around. Her, I really don't want to talk about this part, but I feel like I have to because it pertains to the story. Her dad does some stuff because she looked like her mom at that age. I think he was really drunk at that point, at that moment. Like, oh God, I fucking hate this dad. She's constantly trying to stop him that first time. Like, this is a moment where most people will probably end up trying to, like, probably try to stop watching it. But for me, I wanted to keep reading to find out where the full story went. I'm glad I did because it gets, not with the dad, obviously, but, okay, but well, after this, both of these two things, the guys blackmailing her and her dad keep happening for a bit. And then those friends of hers start bullying her after they find out from those same guys, or maybe some other guys that know about it, what she's been doing. And then right after the bullying, she runs home because she doesn't want them to see her cry. Sadly, she gets kicked out of her own home right as she goes in the front door because her mom finds out about her and her dad. But the mom believes that the dad is the victim because her dad said that she jumped on him, and I just fucking hate that dad so. Ugh, I fucking hate that dad. And the mom is so fucking stupid. Okay, sorry. Back to the actual story. Okay, after this, she goes to Hayato, her quote-unquote boyfriend, to help her out, and things go off the deep end right after that. And that's kind of where I kind of want to leave that. Like, these are like, I just want to talk about like this intro part of, like, there's a lot of stuff that does happens after that kind of, like I said, go off the deep end. Like, piercings, the heavy fake tan, the plastic surgery, I think. I don't completely remember. There's the mentioned before, the drug addiction, sex addiction, both of those addictions at the same goddamn time. And basically it all ends up becoming her becoming a prostitute just to help Hayato get out of debt, which is obviously when he shows who he really is. Why I said boyfriend with quotation marks. And the thing is, she doesn't realize she's a goddamn prostitute either. She doesn't even know what prostitute probably is. She's just been doing all this because people are saying, oh, we'll give you money to do this. Like, oh. I mean, at some point, I think she does realize that it is what she's doing, but she ends up still doing it because she believes in Hayato and all that. Before he obviously shows his true colors. And there's a lot of stuff that happens between that moment with the getting kicked out to the prostitution. Like, there was a chapter where it went from like one to her with a freaking fake tan, and I'm just like, one chapter to the next, I'm like, what the fuck happened to her? And that's basically what it all is. All this started because this pure soul, Saki, she was very pure at the very, very beginning. And all she wanted to do was fit in. That's all she wanted to do. But it all changed once she met that asshole who was in extreme and dangerous debt. So basically, to sum this whole story up, extremely fucked up. but tells an incredible story that could and has probably happened, which is honestly a very sad truth. And why did I decide to make this video? Because I could, because there's so many memes with Saki, and I just want people to know that as fucked up as this hentai is, it is an incredible story. If you can get past all the fucked up parts. If you can get past the part with the dad, I'm telling you, it'll be a great story. I hope you enjoyed this random video I decided to do. If you did, why not check out some of my other videos? Subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see y'all next time. Bye.